Texas isn't just a red state, it's a rig state. And today we're exposing exactly how Republicans are trying to steal power, redraw the maps, and erase your vote. Let's get one thing straight from the start. What's happening in Texas right now isn't redistricting, it's a hostile takeover of our democracy. Republicans led by Donald Trump and Greg Abbott are trying to redraw the congressional maps again in the middle of the decade just to lock in 5 extra seats for the GOP. They're not even pretending as though it's about the census and representation of the people anymore. This is about rigging elections before voters even get to the ballot box. And I hate to tell you, but this isn't new. Texas has been playing dirty with its maps for decades. Back in 2003, Republicans pulled the same stunt, redrawing lines mid decade to snatch power. They got sued, they got dragged to the Supreme Court. And although they got away with it, it caused a national uproar. In 2021, they did it again, slicing up districts to silence Black and Latino communities, even though those same communities fueled almost all of the state's population growth. Now, here we are in 2025, and it's the same playbook: redraw, suppress, and dare someone to stop them. Well, now someone is trying to. Texas Democrats. Texas Democrats have had to flee the state to break quorum just to block this bullshit while Republicans are out here issuing arrest warrants to bring them back in chains if they have to. That's exactly what Governor Greg Abbott said. I need you to understand, people, this isn't politics as usual. This is what it looks like when a party knows it can't win because their policies are so far outside the will of the people that they have to cheat. And when it comes to Republicans, cheating is nothing new. So we talked to Texas State Representative Gina Hinojosa, who's been in the trenches fighting hard her entire political career. We're going to break down how these rigged maps are silencing voters, warping policy, and why this fight is about more than just Texas. It's about whether democracy can even stand a chance as it is under assault from Republicans and the Trump administration. I want you to take a look at this. Okay, we are here with Representative Gina Hinajosa coming to us from Texas. But right now, Representative, you're not in Texas, correct?
No, I am right outside of Chicago.
You're right outside of Chicago. And, I just want to start off by kind of framing this and really helping people understand some of the things that I think might be kind of being missed right now or kind of glossed over. Your annual salary to serve the people of your district in Texas is what?
$7,000 a year.
$7,000 for 12 months of work. The work of a representative, the work of an elected official at any capacity, whether you're serving on a local school board or you're serving in a state house seat or governor, you're working year round in many ways because the needs of your constituents never stop, right?
Absolutely.
And they are communicating, they're reaching out, they're again, I just left Texas, right? I was there, especially maybe the people of Texas were adamant about knowing their representatives, knowing the people that help them, about how much they're in touch with them. I was in town halls and I saw it firsthand. So, which is great, a very involved constituency, but you're only getting $7,000 a year for that. By being gone from your home, and the members who had to leave the state of Texas in their fight to protect the needs of their constituents, the rights of their constituents, and do their responsibilities as elected officials, they're incurring additional personal costs, right? So what are some of the personal costs that members are incurring?
Well, right. Well, let me give an example that is real, that is happening right now. We have moms who have had to bring their kids here with us, right? Because they have child caring responsibilities. They want to be close to their children. We just got out of a 6-month regular session where they had to be away from their families for a lot of that time. And so that's a reality that we deal with, just our personal family responsibilities. I have a son back home who is 13 and was FaceTiming with him at 10 o'clock last night, telling him how much I missed him and love him. But those are the personal.
When does school resume for Texas children?
Say, oh, so it's different for different school districts, but for our school district, it is the last day of the legislative session, which is of this special session, which is August 19th.
So you're in back to school season. Parents are helping kids get ready to go back to school, getting them the material supplies they need. But our Texas Democrats are not able to do that. They're not there. Many members of this legislative body also have jobs like beyond serving in the Texas House because that $7,000 won't pay a whole lot of bills, right? So people are
That
having to actually miss their day jobs and miss the work that they do to pay for their family to be able to serve the people to do this. So I just wanted to really kind of put that out there first and really frame the personal sacrifice that's being made by our Texas Democrats. Because a lot of people online are trying to make this seem like it's a Jet 2 holiday to Chicago, and you guys are riding around Lake Michigan with JB Prisker, which Governor Prisker, which is not the case.
No, it is not the case. Nobody wants to be away from their family. Nobody wants to be here. But let me say, I'm honored to be part of this resistance. I'm honored to be part of this fight because the stakes are so high and we have to stand up to Donald Trump.
Representative Hinojosa, we are thankful that you're there, and we're thankful that you are taking the whole entire Texas delegation has taken the lead really for the nation in many ways in this time. Like these challenging times, people are looking for the opposition, they're looking for the resistance, they're looking for the fight back, and you guys are bravely doing that. Um, just kind of continuing on, right? So when I was able to be this past weekend in Austin, and then I also went to San Marcos, I had the opportunity to talk to people, and a lot of people are very concerned about how this Texas gerrymander will impact and hurt Black and Brown communities in Texas, and how they are represented and their ability to have their voices heard. What do you say to that?
Yeah, that threat is real. So Donald Trump is trying to gain 5 more Republican members of the US Congress through Texas by manipulating the congressional voting maps so that the outcome of the 26 midterms is predetermined, and they're doing it on the backs of Latino districts and Black districts. In my own city of Austin, we have 2 congressional districts. The Latino Opportunity District, where we have a Latino serving as our representative in Congress, has been eliminated under these Trump maps. Houston, same kind of deal. The one Latino Opportunity District has been eliminated, but they also eliminated African American districts. So yes, they are trying to entrench their power to keep Americans, keep Texans from holding them accountable, but on the backs of our communities.
So when you look at the rig maps, as some would call it, the gerrymander maps, or the Texas redistricting process that has been in the hands or in control of Republicans in the state of Texas for about a decade, have we seen impacts at the local levels of that from previous legislative sessions?
Right. So we already had the most racially gerrymandered maps in the whole country under the Republican majority. And we were just in court last month fighting those maps, right? And now this makes them even worse because Trump is running scared. He knows that the high prices at the grocery store based on his tariffs are really causing hurt and pain for Americans and for Texans. He knows that so many Americans and Texans are losing health care under his big bad bill. He knows that we support our neighborhood schools, and the threats and the cuts to them are hurting our families and our neighborhoods. That list goes on and on. And so he's trying to stop Americans, stop Texans from holding him accountable.
You brought up a really great point, and that's something I just want to you kind of go a little more into it. Is about the impact of your constituents, the impact of everyday Texans, and what they're feeling from the first 6 months of the Trump administration.
Yeah, so there's a lot of hurt and a lot of pain that is happening in our country right now, and in Texas for sure, in my district for sure. And the number one concern really is the very high cost of just everyday expenses, groceries right now. I mean, the costs have skyrocketed just since January, and families cannot keep up.
They can't, and I know that I am I'm a news junkie, and I was following along with the rise in prices and how inflation is impacting certain sectors, and I saw this massive increase in beef and how much more beef is costing to the average consumer, to the families. But imagine that increased cost being passed down to restaurateurs and to people who are serving beef. Is that going to have a problem? Do you anticipate that having a massive impact on Texas?
Yes, it's already having an impact. I just saw my colleague was looking at social media yesterday. A neighborhood small business restaurant and bar just shut down in her district. I mean, this is pain that is first going to hit in the economic sector, small businesses, right? Small businesses are feeling the pain and the least able to deal with these rising costs. But everyday families are feeling this same pain. And so, yes, Americans, Texans want answers, they want change. And the only way we can stop this at this point is by electing representatives to hold Trump in check and stop his pay to play tariffs.
So, Representative Hinojosa, there are many people out there who, I was in Austin. A good friend of mine from college lives in Austin. I was able to see him, and he was saying, "Yeah, this is going to be a great stall tactic. It's going to really bring a lot of attention to the issue." But at the end of the day, he feels that the Texas Republicans are going to be beholden to Trump, and they're going to push through. They're going to pass this. If that happens, what is our next line of defense, or what is next for us in this fight?
Right. So a lot of people are asking, what is the end game? Right. When we broke quorum once before, it was in 2021 to stop the anti-voter bill. We went to DC, we lobbied Congress for the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. That didn't happen, but something else did. All the national attention that shined a light on what Texas Republicans were doing shamed them into taking out the most egregious parts of the bill, the worst parts of their bill that inspired our quorum break. For instance, they had banned in that bill Sunday morning voting. What was that? Well, that was an attack on souls to the polls, which is a long-standing tradition in our African American churches to vote as a faith community after service. Republicans tried to ban that. Also, they were giving elected judges the ability to overturn election results, the will of the voters, right? So because we shined a light on what they were doing, they were shamed into removing the worst parts of their bill. So we saved free and fair elections in Texas by our bold act of resistance. We could not have known when we walked out the door that time in 2021 that we would achieve that result. We just knew we had to fight to win for the day. And the next day, tomorrow, we would see what's the situation? How do we fight to win today? So I have faith that we take it day by day. We do what we need to do today. And tomorrow's a new day and we fight to win tomorrow. And let me say this. Institutions across this country are bending a knee to Trump, and it is time for Americans to stand up to this man, stand up to this president. If Harvard won't stand up to President Trump, Texans will. And so that's the fight that we're showing America and that I'm inspired and proud to be a part of.
I can't reiterate that enough is that if Harvard won't stand up, if Columbia won't stand up, if mainstream media won't stand up, if national Democrats in the Senate who voted to pass nominees who kind of align with their Republican colleagues on certain things in terms of how they vote won't stand up. Our Texas Democrats are doing that. You really are providing a model to this nation of how to resist and of how to do the work of the people in service to the people. So again, I can't thank you enough for that. And but maybe there is a way that we can thank you enough. I know I want to, and you don't want to say anything right now, but I want to say first and foremost, Representative Hinojosa is taking, as are all the Texas Democrats, a huge risk in doing this. And as a result, you better believe that Donald Trump and the fury of the Republican Party is going to be targeted at them. We can see that with Representative Green in his district, where it went from being, again, a predominantly plus Democratic district to now up by plus R. I think it's R13, maybe even R31 in terms of how they redistricted to get him out of office, a long-standing Democratic servant and leader that they're determined to get out because of the stance that he made during Donald Trump's mockery of democracy during his State of the Union, or state, whatever they called it. I called it a state of delusion is what I called it. And so you can bet that same level of attack is going to be leveled at Representative Hinojosa. I urge you to donate to her reelection campaign and her reelection efforts, because we need leaders like this to stay where they are or to continue to ascend up the ladder of service. Representative, how can people support this work?
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate it. Well, I'm excited to announce that we have started a new PAC in the Progressive Caucus. I am vice chair of the Progressive Caucus, and I am
Mm.
chairing the redistricting fight. And it is called the Good Trouble PAC. And we will provide you the link to that new PAC that we're establishing to support our work so that we're more effective.
The Good Triple Pack. You have a founding donation coming from me today to thank you and to thank all the members of the for this great work and the model that you're providing for our country. Representative, I will not keep you much longer. I know you have a full day. You have interviews planned back to back. Thank you so much for taking your time to talk to me and to the followers that I have on social media. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. There you have it. Gerrymandering isn't just a political tactic, it's a straight up attack on democracy. It's how they rig the rules, silence voters, and pass extremist policies that don't reflect the will of the people. Representative Gina Hinojosa laid it out plain. If we don't fight back, these rigged maps will keep locking us out of decisions that will shape our lives, our schools, our healthcare, our communities. Think about her words, reflect on them, and think about what we do. We stay loud, we stay informed, and we organize like hell, just like the Texas Democrats, because they're counting on us to get tired and to give up the Republicans. But see, like Texas, we can't give up that easy. We have to do our part. We need to make sure that we're registered to vote, make sure the people that we know and love are registered to vote, donate to candidate and causes that matters. And when it's time to vote, that we show up and we show them that we are not going anywhere and that we won't be silenced. And our vote is our voice, and we're not going to let them take that from us. With that being said, I hope that you will be well, be blessed, and whatever you do, keep pushing. I'll see you soon.